We never bought relish when I was growing up, specifically cucumber relish. Today we're gonna make it. It is really simple. We always made a whole bunch of it when I was growing up. You need some large slicing cucumbers. You wanna wash them, but don't peel them. Then you're gonna need a food grinder. And we're just gonna grind those. And once you have your cucumbers all ground up, we're gonna pour it into a bowl, and this will get kind of juicy, so you might wanna watch yourself so you don't make a mess. I also don't have this thing clamped down, so doing that wasn't the easiest thing I've ever done. At home, we always had two separate grinders for our food. We always had this one for our meat, and it was always bolted down on a board like this, so we could clamp it down when we were grinding our meat. And then we also had a smaller one with a built-in clamp that we used for all of our vegetables, so we always called that the food grinder, and this the meat grinder, but this is the only one I have, which is why I'm using this for my food. I know meat is food too, but we didn't exactly call it food growing up. We always call it meat. You need some cut up green peppers as well. Make sure you take all of the seeds and white stuff out of the inside. I don't know if you guys knew, but peppers have genders. There's male and female, and they can have little babies inside them. So whenever we grew peppers at home, finding the babies on the inside was always the most exciting thing. Now we're gonna put the peppers through a grinder as well. And this is what I mean when I say it's not exactly the easiest thing I've done, because I have to hold this while I grind it. And it likes to tip and stuff because it's not clamped down, but a little bit of hard work never hurt anyone. And once you have your peppers all ground up, dump it in with those cucumbers. Last, but far from least, is our onions, which we also have to grind up, and I'm not looking forward to that. Whenever we did this at home, we always took the onions outside to cut them up because fresh air helps so they don't burn your eyes as much. And then we always used to have a stainless steel soap bar, because if you wash your hands with a stainless steel soap bar after you're done with onions, it will take the smell off. Well, I'm not crying yet. Just dump your onion in there, although it is coming up very fast. Now the best time to do this is as early in the morning as you can, because we need to add salt to this and stir it together, and then we need to let it set for 6 whole hours to marinate. And I always like to cover mine with a lid or something, and I would recommend just setting this at room temperature. We are 5 hours and 55 minutes older, and I feel it. Now we have to continue making this. We have to boil a syrup first. Remember I said 5 hours and 55 minutes instead of 6 hours? That's because we still have 5 minutes left of that brine soaking. You're going to need some sugar first. Then we are going to add a bunch of white vinegar, and it also calls for mustard seed. Now I do not like the seeds in it, so I always take a little piece of cheesecloth and I put my mustard seeds on there. Then we just gather it into a little pouch. We take a piece of thread and we just tie it shut. If you don't want to go to all that bother and you actually like mustard seeds, then just put them into your relish, but I hate biting into those things. Now this just goes on the stove to come to a boil, and we're going to take 2 ribs of celery. I cut them lengthwise because we need to chop them up very finely. I'm going to set this aside, and I'm going to get my colander with a cheesecloth, and then our vegetables that we're soaking in the salt. And we need to drain all the liquid off of this. It has a lot of liquid in it, as you can see. We don't keep the liquid. Make sure you squeeze as much of that liquid off as you can, because we don't want this to be salty. Once you have it well drained, we're going to put it back in our original bowl. If you want to, you could keep this salt juice, whatever it is, and use it in your water. It will probably be very hydrating because it's cucumber juice with salt. Now we're going to take our finely chopped celery and just add it in with the rest of our vegetables. Once our vinegar and sugar brine comes to a nice boil, we're going to take the cover off, and you want to make sure you don't breathe it in because that stuff is very rich. Then we're just going to add our drained vegetables to that. Make sure you stir it together nicely. And now we just let it come to a boil. We cover it and we let it simmer for 20 minutes. Once that gets done boiling, and again, try not to breathe it in too much because your eyes will water, I'm just going to take a spoon and get this little bag of mustard seeds out. It's looking beautiful. We're going to can this. And to can it, you just scoop it into your jars. Make sure you only fill it up to the neck here. This made a little over 2 pints. I have this left. I'm not going to seal this, but for the other ones that you want to seal, you have to clean the rims and then put lids and rings on and just cold pack them for 10 minutes. This is still warm, but I'm going to taste it just to make sure it's good. It doesn't fail, and I knew it would. And you can also add a hot pepper if you like it a little bit spicier. This works perfect to make tartar sauce. I can make a video showing you guys how to do that if you want me to. And if you want the recipe for it, it is in my Amish cookbook. The cookbook has over 220 other recipes in it as well. And it's linked on my website, socialsbylavina.com, which is in my profile, or it might be in the caption, depending what platform you're on. Or you can just go to your browser app and type it into the search bar. Enjoy!